Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spotted. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning. It is the 25th of February, the day after yesterday, I guess. What a wild day in markets. We did get the bounce that I wanted. As you recall, I wasn't able to really catch it because it happened at the open. But now overnight, if we come over to our charts, the E-mini taking another little, taking a little swoon there. So here was kind of the bounce, and it just got creamed late in the day. And now here a bounce, and the Europeans are selling it. Now here on the open, we're getting, ahead of the open, we're getting another little bit of a bounce. That was, all that clicking was just the treasuries starting. So you can see the treasuries trying to sell a little bit, but not really going. But they're clearly, so I think that the situation is a little interesting because I see a lot of statistics that would suggest that we would have a strong bounce today. This is normally like, there was the big sell and, everybody sells it, and then they come in today and they all want to sell it again, and it bounces in their face and everybody loses. Well, all the retail guys lose. That's a typical thing. It's like the turnaround Tuesday. But the Europeans sold it overnight. That is weird. And it's just not acting weird. It's just not acting right. So, and given that it's coronavirus, you got to remember that people are incredibly irrational when it comes to diseases. Incredibly irrational. Ergo, we could see weird stuff, and it could you could see stronger downtrend bias than would normally be reasonable, right? Don't forget China shutting down. Oh, by the way, we need to start this. Well, I haven't seen any news that says anything new. I mean, the market is clearly reacting to the fact that it is now in Italy, and if it's in Italy, it is likely to spread to all of Europe. Now, the thing you got to remember is that Europe is not going to react the same way that China has. But if anybody in a pandemic acts irrationally, it is the government, man. So I was reading a lot about this. One of the things that will happen, and one of the things that's dangerous about a pandemic, is that the politicians allocate all of the money towards that new disease, and they take money away from other diseases that are more dangerous, like tuberculosis, and people die because they don't get the support that they need in the other diseases. Is one of the things that happens, apparently. Man, anyways, headphones are a little light for some reason. I wonder if my volume is wrong. Yeah, it is. That's a little better. Okay, we're okay. Supply chains are in deep shit. Well, yeah, so I question that strongly. So I'm seeing a lot of people running around the internet saying, "Oh, you better go and buy everything that you can from the store because there's not going to be food on the shelves and all of these sorts of things." And I'm deeply skeptical of that. Okay, by the way, I am seeing a short in the E-mini. probably going to run away from me. Okay. I'm not too concerned about food since it doesn't come from China for us. Yeah, so anything that's manufacturing for sure. But I think that it kind of evens out. Like, the thing is, there is a lot of I believe that companies are going to be able to work things out so that they can get the product out that they need to on time. But they're also not going to need as much product anyways because China is just is such a huge part of the demand, especially in the technology sector, and the demand from China is just going to fall off a cliff, right? So yeah. By the way, Pedro, talking about gold, I have to say, with gold, if we come over here and look at gold, man, I said I would rather be in treasuries rather than gold. That's gold yesterday. That's treasuries. Okay. I'm sorry, dude, but you were fucking dead wrong. Gold was the worst thing to be in yesterday. You got creamed if you were in gold yesterday. I mean, if you were long and hold, you got creamed. I'm sorry, dude, but you can't come in here and say, oh, yeah, it looks good. I'm going. No, you were dead wrong on that one. Sorry. Maybe you were right on some other things, but weren't able to track prices and stuff. You should say like specific price, specific time I want to buy here, I want to sell here, and then we can check and we can see if you're right or right. No. Okay, and then our Russian friend said, hey, what platform are you using? I'm using Jigsaw Day Trader is where I get all the DOMs, and I also use Ninja Trader for my charts. Okay? Cool. You weren't in it? Oh, okay. So it was the wrong thing to be in, gold. I tell you what, that was it was a weird move that gold sold the way that it did. But you know what? I think that one of the things, you're in at 1652. Okay. One of the things that I think we got to be careful about is that you're going to have traditional flight to safety instruments may not be flight to safety, right? So, Bitcoin, for instance, a lot of people were trying to play Bitcoin as a flight to safety, but if the issue is in China, so much of Bitcoin is based in China, I don't really see that as a good place to store your money. But treasuries have been a good flight to safety. What is on my nose, by the way? Maybe I need to lay off the nose strips for a week or something. Okay, well, they're messing around with the price. They're not hitting my 8-tick stop. I am going to have to give it a little bit more room to breathe today than I would normally like. I don't like that it's 4 ticks against me already. In fact, when I was taking it, I was thinking maybe I should put it a point higher, but I didn't think that it was going to get up there. I do see a potential short, though. It's just like the stop on this is all the way up at like 46, so I don't know if this is right.
Uzi Knesset says ZH, Iranian health minister infected with coronavirus.
Yep, I saw that. Found first cabin crew.
Pedro Garcia says I was in S yesterday. Grinning face. Anthony Monero says Seth, they found the first cabin crew infected by coronavirus on Korean airline.
Right, so? Why is that? Here's the thing you're going to get, is you're going to get a headline and everybody's going to be, oh my gosh, this new thing is spreading everywhere. Like, okay, but what's the economic impact of that? What has changed? Right? There's a market driven by sentiment and not numbers. Well, E-mini is
Anthony Monero says tea
bumbling around too
coronavirus.
Much. GC people were taking
Pedro
profit
Garcia
yesterday.
says GC people were taking profit yesterday.
Must be. I mean, that was an ugly move, man. Right? Like, I mean, I'm just saying, E-mini is getting creamed and gold loses almost its entire day's gains? You kidding me? Like, and that's supposed to be a flight to safety? Oh my gosh. How many people went and bought gold as their flight to safety and got obliterated
Pedro
yesterday?
Garcia says right? Crazy.
It was
Uzi
a
Knesset
really
says
wild
teeth, cigarettes, coronavirus for me, grinning face.
man. So look at the treasuries, just nothing but up. In fact, I can now buy it here.
Pedro Garcia says cigarette truth. Lucas says have a good trading session.
I hope. This is going to take off down without me.
Uzi Knesset says smoky smokert in face with tongue. Fazula Tazabayev says are your broker is Ninja Trader brokerage? If you NT8 use. I'm looking broker.
I'm using AMP. See that right there? That's what we were trying to catch.
Masiak says yesterday I had terrible day, one
We
of the
were
worst.
short
I
from
had
there.
good profit for all day and for the close I lost everything.
We were short right there. That was
Fazula Tazabayev says thanks.
no problem. Yeah, AMP is usually the cheapest. I'm pretty sure that you can use AMP if you're in Russia.
Pedro Garcia says true flight to safety, booze and hookers and coke. Lol. Anthony Monroe says cabin crew are serving at least 50 people. People are seated eating and drinking. See the picture.
I say the true flight to safety play in a market like this is rope. Man, there's so many people get creamed.
Lucas says how much are comms in AMP for MES?
It's slightly less than a tick. I took a picture the other day and posted it in that Facebook group. I'd have to go and find it though. Yeah, I can pull it up here on my phone. I can tell you exactly what it is for a tick. It's more than it should be, in my opinion, but the amount that you're paying isn't because of AMP. In fact, AMP is only taking like 5 cents or something like that. Oh, come on, where is it?
Pedro Garcia says true safety, war, drugs, and AI.
Can you see? Oh, you can't. There's no way you can read that. So it's the exchange is 40 cents, the NFA is 4 cents, clearing client is 10 cents, Rhythmic is 50 cents, and then the AMP commission itself is 4 cents. So depends on your data platform, and the data platform is the thing that kills you. Make sense? Because AMP is only taking 4 cents round trip. Well, I never got filled. Now it's too far. I'm already frustrated.
Lucas says I guess. It's around 0.80 cents with Ninja.
Yeah, so it is a little cheaper with AMP.
Pedro Garcia says you need to learn a momentum entry.
Well, I don't want to hit into it, though. That entry in the treasuries kind of is a momentum entry. I could have bought up for that one, but it's a little different in. If you could go and you run down and you do the statistics,
Lucas says hitting into it sometimes feels random.
It's a lot harder to make money with market orders than it is limit orders. I'm just telling you. So the problem that I have, I can take that.
Ron Johnson says, do you ever trade spreads?
I've toyed with it, but I've never taken it seriously because the commissions for the spreads and the amount that I have to put up for just more than I'm willing to do right now. So I've never taken it very seriously, but it sure is a subject that interests me a lot. And I watch the spreads every day. That 2 and 10-year spread, by the way, is ugly. See this? So bad. So bad. I think that something about the way I'm reading the DOM is wrong in
Lucas says that is
mini,
BS.
right? It's just immediately 8 ticks against me for no reason.
Lucas says, meaning how MKT moved there.
Yeah. Well, I have to sit it out for a bit now. But there's something about my DOM entry that's wrong, I think.
Anthony Monroe says BTC might crash very soon. 70% of the blocks in is in China. Not good for Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, I think that Bitcoin is a high and deserves a haircut, sure, but and I don't think that it would be a good place to hide. But I'm looking at it more from the perspective of like, are people in China going to need money? Are they going to have to withdraw funds? In a risk-off environment? That's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know if I don't see how coronavirus could necessarily disrupt the supply of people mining and that. You know what I mean?
Masiak says, guys, never average a loss position because it leads to disaster. I did it and I succeeded 8 times and 9 times was a disaster.
Right.
Pedro Garcia says Etnary 132, 255 stop 132, 255.
I cannot. So I don't think that it's a very good scalping in the E-mini for as much risk as we want to take, is it? But at the same time, we were going short, and it kind of looks like they might be recovering. So.
Anthony Monroe says my bet is on ETH.
Yeah, so I'm told that Ethereum 2.0 is soon, right? And isn't that when they're going to move off of proof of work? So I don't think that moving off of proof of work is a good idea, but it's going to be really interesting to see how it works.
Pedro Garcia says should have continuations on TN.
So we should definitely keep an eye on it. 255.
Anthony Monroe says exactly.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I mean, that's one of the biggest unknowns in Bitcoin has been what happens if you move off of proof of work to proof of stake. I don't know. So I'll tell you another thing just from a personal standpoint, because I really follow Bitcoin Cash because I feel like cryptocurrency is worth what you use it for. And so you should be looking
Masiak says I'm at the stage of working through yesterday's failure, disappointed face.
The one that gets used the most should be the one that wins.
Anthony Monroe says people are super excited about DeFi.
And one of the big developers that was developing a client for Bitcoin wanted a change in the protocol that would give them like a 5% reward from every mining from every mining block mined. And that Bitcoin Cash community is just falling apart. Is so disheartening for me because it seems to me that and I mean it kind of brings me to question if the idea of Bitcoin governance can work. I really seriously question that at this point, based off of what's happened in Bitcoin Cash. If there was a real crisis in Bitcoin, it's just going to go all the way down. You know what I mean? So that again, the whole idea that it can become like the world's premier currency and all that, it's no way. Not going to happen. Anyways. So see here at 3240. So here's my theory. 3240 is the top of this range, right? So you try to sell 3240. They're going to go through it 4 ticks, and then maybe they turn around at 3241. But because I said that, maybe that will stop. Maybe that will be the end of it. Well, let's see. Well, 132.25 half did not hold at all. You know what? I shouldn't be surprised though. Remember a little bit too much volume on that one. I think maybe we would have gotten the 3 ticks out of it, maybe. But now it's no entry because you got a lower point of control. There you go. So there's 41 and the stop run. Now we could take it short, but I've already taken 2 trades that didn't work out, and we're kind of in a little bit of an uptrend, and we're above the trend line now, so a short doesn't even make sense.
Pedro Garcia says I do believe Bitcoin is the foreshadow for something like it.
Well, I mean, probably what's going to happen is the U.S. government is going to make their own cryptocurrency, and everybody will use that. So, like the whole problem here is that there's a deeper theory about Bitcoin. Like the utility is kind of a side thing, really, when you think about it.
Pedro Garcia says yeep.
What they really want is they want an escape from the monetary controls of a government. And what they fail to understand, the people that adhere to that theory, what they fail to understand is that the monetary controls of the government is the main feature, the main reason to use it. The Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury and the full faith and backing of the United States government is why people buy the dollar. It's not because everybody else is using it. It's because of its association with the government. And if
Pedro
the only
Garcia
reason
says the greenback current.
If the only reason to use it is because it's not controlled by the government, I think you're going to lose in the end. Well, there's lots of tails in this. And with the tails being as long as they are, kind of says to me that my probability of catching a good trade here are very poor. In the E-mini, that is. Otherwise, they're at
Pedro
39
Garcia
is
says
fine.
people are waiting for the 10 report.
That might be the case. You're right. So you've got the Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index at 10. And those numbers have been really moving markets a lot lately. I mean, the thing is that the volume is kind of light, isn't it?
Pedro Garcia says Becasu of report, they are waiting.
I think you're still going to see a lot of action. Just might be kind of weird. Definitely when the E-mini opens, there's going to be people looking to play it, right? For a lot of people, what the report says doesn't matter, right? After a day like yesterday.
Masiak says now coronavirus come to UE in Italy there are closed zone.
Yeah. Well, and remember that it's got like a 10-day incubation period, so, you know, we can't even say that it's contained to Italy. We're getting some increase in volume here. Something's up. Hmm. That 39 looks so tempting to me. Hmm. $41. Okay. See, that would have been a bad trade. What are we seeing over here? Hmm. $41 is definitely a spot of sorts.
Lucas says we have some low liquidity in S, am I right?
Yeah, it is quite low, I'd say. And not only that, but a lot of it is pulling. I mean, like they have at least 100 put on the DOM in the main E-mini, and some of those prices only took 11 orders to fill, to clear rather. So, as much as I would love to short it here, I think we need to not touch it. The treasury sure seems to be holding though. Well, we could take it at 41. Is maybe a safer spot. Man, that's really toying with my heart. Because I want to short it so bad. That move up was like on almost no volume. I don't know if that can hold. See that? Goodish. A little bit of stoppage. Let's reset it so we're right there. Let's just theoretically say 01. Actually,
Pedro Garcia says quite play games with Seth's heart, it's Seth's heart, Bast Street Boys alright, lol.
right. But let's just try it with this sim order. Feel her out.
Pedro Garcia says let's go CL.
CL getting a little
Algo
bit of a
Lover
drop.
says from last Eve down finger.
Yeah.
Algo Lover says 4:09 p.m. Algo Lover S if sellers hold offer below 3,261.50, then 3,196.75 target. If 61.50 goes bid before that target trades, then anticipate squeeze higher. Nerd face remains valid overnight. Pedro
Wow.
Garcia says yep.
I'll put that there, but that's so far away. I can't really consider it at the moment. I'm going to just take that off just because of that stop run there. That sim order. I'm not sure if a sell makes sense at the moment. Like, did you see that they did a stop run down, swept it down, and it stopped right at our price? Right at our price.
Algo Lover says 4:36 p.m. Algo Lover CL if sellers sustain offer below 52, then 50 target. If 52 goes bid before trading down, then anticipate squeeze higher. Nerd face still valid.
Well,
Pedro Garcia says check out Ho.
who's talking about the high of the day? I was shorting it because of the shooting star at 46, but then we get a hammer there. Interesting setups. We are positive on almost
Pedro
everything
Garcia
except
says
for
yep.
the week. To get to the week, we'd have to come all the way up to 33.10. I used to have the bars on here to show me the highs and lows, and I got rid of it, and I want it back.
Algo Lover says HAGD, thumbs up.
Hey, thank you, Algo lovers, for stopping by. I'm having a tough time, so I, um, you know, those targets are useful to remind me that we are still in a short. No, this would only have to load like a few days worth. I wish that Ninja Trader allowed Hollow Candlestick to scale. So like you can, if you make it a bar, which one is it? If you make it a box, then it you can get it to auto like get bigger. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Box. That. Well, I'm changing my... Ah, I'm back. Yeah, my connection just died there. Sorry about that. Okay. There. Look at her go. Something on Twitter, maybe? No. Well, that was a real stop run. I think I can take that one. No. I guess not. Seller's not coming in. Maybe I was too early on that one. Man, guys, I am just doing terrible, aren't I? Watch them stop and turn around now. Gosh.
Pedro Garcia says you are a great trader. Bother. You have done great in the past. And you are only getting better. Stop getting into your head.
Well, I didn't say that I was a bad trader. I just said I'm not doing very well right now. And I'm not sure what the deal is, but I'm getting it. It's going straight up against me every time. See, now it's going to go my way. I should hit it at 43. Maybe not. I don't know, man. $43 is kind of where I like to do it from. See, now it's just going to go, probably. I could hit into it.
Uzi Knesset says conditions are tricky. Yesterday I tried to stay out of the market and went against my better judgment trying to long ZB. Thing tapped my stop and rocketed up. I took that as a sign and just. Uzi Knesset said fuck it.
What the fuck? What the fuck? U.S. to start test of Gilead's remdesivir to treat coronavirus. I don't think that's what that was. That was what the
Pedro
wild.
Garcia says stick to your rules, guys.
Real volatility coming in here, man. I mean, pretty reasonably big stop run not to the upside. And now a huge stop run on the volume. Wow.
Pedro Garcia says rules are the most important thing in this game. Uzi Knesset says yeah, I took a paltry 3-tick hit yesterday. No revenge, just tacked it up as tough conditions. Need better structure.
I would have liked to have taken some profits there, but it moved too fast.
Uzi Knesset says I moved over to my stock portfolio where everything is on sale lol.
You see the way it ticked down there from 41 to 40? Like literally less than 100 lots to move it down there. Okay, well, there's the top of the hour. Inside bar. What the heck?
Lucas says is it the open already? Lol.
Right? What is that? I've never seen it act like this before. Not at 7 o'clock. What? This is so weird. I mean, I guess since I've got a few ticks of positive excursion, I should let it run, but holy shit, dude. That's so wild.
Pedro Garcia says what are you playing?
What do you mean, what are you playing? We're just talking the E-mini here. Oh, maybe if you don't have the screen up, we're talking about the E-mini. Bonds are becoming active.
Trader Joe says morning.
Hey, Trader Joe. Welcome back. You came back.
Masiak says exactly, that is session now? Pedro Garcia says yay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I kind of assumed. I should always specify what instrument I'm talking about, huh? That is
Sebastian
corn
Marquez
markets
says
are
hi
closed
Seth.
today? Hey, Sebastian. And somebody in chat is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that was me. I'll stop."
Ace Trades says morning folks.
Hey, Ace. How are you? Okay, well, now they're below.
Lucas says hi Ace.
Oh, you know what? I got something screwed up in here. This needs to use CME interest or index futures client.
Uzi Knesset says hey Ace waving hand. Ace Trades says waiting for short S. Howdy folks.
Waiting for sure.
Pedro Garcia says GM Ace, by the way how did you do yesterday, since you're a millionaire?
Yeah, I'm interested to know if that worked, what you do worked well yesterday or not. Because I got just, no matter which way I went, I was just getting screwed over every time.
Ace Trades says at Pedro Garcia spent my day counting money. Sorry. Pedro Garcia says told y'all shorts were the best.
Wow. In this situation, give me a short, I took a short. But it has yet to really go to where I would like to see it. The treasuries did finally bid up, though. And a long signal, in fact. There had to have been some news from all of that. There's got to be some news that's not hitting Twitter, because that was just really incredibly weird action. Let the market show you what it wants to do. Let it prove to you it wants to do something. Don't force your thoughts on the market, says Anthony Grudelli.
Pedro Garcia says at ACE Trades, are you a charist or a technical guy?
A charist? You mean a chartist?
Ace Trades says at Pedro Garcia DN. Pedro Garcia says chartist.
Yeah. I'll tell you, in my opinion...
Ace Trades says at Pedro Garcia don't know what those mean.
In my opinion, part of the true genius of Ace's strategy is when he takes it.
Pedro Garcia says lol. Lucas says maybe someone who gives to charities, a charister. Ace Trades says short 3,239.00.
That was a good one. Oh, guys. Okay, so it was 39. But you can see how this market is just like, I don't know. For us to hold 4 ticks of risk is super hard. Okay, well,
Pedro
it didn't
Garcia
stop
says
you out
yes.
yet.
I'm sorry, bud.
They were going for him, but they didn't stop him out yet. Oh, man. So,
Pedro Garcia says you're going to lose.
29, 38
Pedro Garcia
and a half.
says about to be stoked out.
38 and a half is like the
Masiak says
open
open
of the
session
hour.
for 23 minutes.
That's the open of the hour. So do you see how they kind of are having to push to get through it? So now they're through it. You might see some long positions.
Lucas says chop.
Give out. But there's so much sell through the whole thing. I'm not so sure that that's going to happen.
Uzi Knesset says stoked.
All right. Well, I tell you what, Ace.
Vincenzo C says what's the difference between a chartist and a technical trader?
I tell you what, Ace, that was fucking awesome. That was amazing. So I want you to do something, Ace, because I know like you're already in one, but tell us when it's going to cross again.
Uzi Knesset says amazing.
Because I could add to it. Man, that was 39. They went right down there. Holy crap. Think they'll go for the low of the hour? 35?
Pedro Garcia says good luck, Ace.
Okay, 42. 42's fine.
Ace Trade says there is your 2. Welcome. Pedro Garcia says really good luck. Masiak says S is more predictable than other market. Lucas says are there more to come?
Yeah, that's the question, really, isn't it? Oh, I got filled.
Pedro Garcia says hope it goes your way.
I would like to add to one, but
Ace Trade says at Lucas yup. Uzi Knesset says I smell a pissing contest a brewing.
Pedro, I wouldn't trade against that thing that Ace drops.
Pedro Garcia says really I hope it goes your way.
You think it's gonna go back up, huh? The E-mini?
Pedro Garcia says really.
Okay. From what price? What price did you get in at?
Uzi Knesset says really?
I don't know, man. I do kind of see that it's going to be hard for them to get below 32.35. And in fact,
Pedro Garcia says not in it yet, it's not trending yet.
Okay. He likes to take the momentum, huh? One of the things that's annoying about this market is that you really can't read the liquidity on the ES. It's just too light.
Pedro Garcia says I'm all about the easy trade.
Well, it come back to 39 really
Pedro
quickly.
Garcia says I don't try to fight markets.
So I think that we would have just taken, I'm sure that Ace probably just took that, right?
Pedro Garcia says are you a scalper?
We've only, with Ace's trades, it's only 2 points. So, well, not, the first target is 2 points. And then you leave one on and you let it run, and that one you can just scratch. So he already got his money.
Pedro Garcia says oh really?
Yeah.
Masiak says I am scalpel too.
You guys today.
Pedro Garcia says that's it.
Okay. There does appear to be some passive buying in this area. You see at 27 in the 10-year that there's 5K iceberg.
Pedro Garcia says only 2 points. I thought you were a better trader than that. It's okay. 2 points will make you a millionaire.
Okay. I think you should just hold your tongue a little bit, Pedro. I'm sorry. But you are a new person, and you
Pedro
have
Garcia
not
says lol.
You have not proven yourself worthy to be saying shit like that.
Pedro Garcia says come on, I'm messing with him.
I'm sorry. No, that's not messing with people. It's not cool. You want to do that, go into Discord and talk to people in the horse.
Pedro Garcia says I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Okay, so this bar is kind of doing similar things to the last bar. And that should probably give me out. I'm gonna let it breathe, but that's not necessarily a good candle.
Pedro Garcia says I want to go into Discord, but I'll share my entries.
Okay. Well, if you go into Discord, you can show
Masiak
pictures.
says there was a double peak on 5 meters, Noah's resistance on 236.
Brannigan Barrett saying U.S. bonds pricing imminent recession at 1.35%. Equities are still 5% higher than October rally. I don't think the sell-off is by any means over with coronavirus. We have a gap to fill at 32.05 in the cash market. Below that, we have 30.30.
Pedro Garcia says I don't want people to take my setups and have them diluted.
That's fair enough. Well, that's where, a lot of people will share the numbers, but not explain how it's done. And then you don't share it all the time, but that's enough to show people that it works.
Pedro Garcia says I've spent 14 years developing.
If you don't want to help people, that's fine too. But I can't, if, you can't come in and say, oh, you shouldn't take this or you should take this. And then I can't believe you because, that was a little, see, that's what I was worried about. Because, I don't have the statistics to know if it's reliable or not. Or if it's appropriate for me. Okay. So I really wanted to let that run. I think maybe if I was trailing this by 2 points, then I could have gotten 15, but...
Pedro Garcia says I've called 3 major moves so far.
I didn't keep track of... You gotta give me like a specific price, because otherwise I don't know if you're just like saying it after the fact, This is very easy. You wouldn't be the first person that's come in and tried to call things ahead of time and then ends up being massively wrong. And usually the tendency is the people that are really good and tend to be right over and over and over again don't make a big deal of themselves. You know what I'm saying? I remember this one time, there was this guy and he was posting market profile stuff. Sometimes he would post pictures that it just always bothered me because they were incredibly
Pedro
vague.
Garcia says I'm not, you're just calling me out.
They were incredibly vague, things. And some people said that they were helpful, but I was like, what is he? He doesn't even say what he's showing. He posts a chart. And then when it goes in his direction, he says,
Garcia, it is just your look on market.
He says, oh, see, I told you so. And we're like, well, but you didn't give us a position or anything like that. So you didn't call anything, right? And so then one day he said, okay, here, I'll call it. And he said, this was the trade. And it went against him. Oh, wait, sorry, I missed the part. This guy started his own room. So then in his room, he started giving an entry. And he gave an entry here. And people told us about it. And it was, like 2 points against him or something like that. And I was like, well, that doesn't look like a good move. And then that ended up being like a trend day. And he let it go against him the whole way. And we were like, oh my gosh, not only was he like full of shit, but he had poor risk management too. Was like, so I'm just saying, we have many people come in and many people try to BS, and many people, we have mostly the guys that are around forever. Yeah. There are guys that have been here every day for years now and are like incredibly reliable, Ace being one of them. And they're always just quietly put it out there, and the results speak for themselves. Well, I am glad that I got out of that, but I'm a little disappointed by it all.
Uzi Knesset says oof, big plunge.
Big plunge in the treasuries, yeah. I guess that stopped me out of the
Pedro
treasury
Garcia
trade, didn't
says
I?
okay. Michael ATF says hi Seth, can you explain your risk management briefly your last trade on the macOS? Please.
Yeah,
Uzi Knesset
sure.
says I was just outside for 3 minutes with the dog lol.
So Michael, I'm looking to normally I'm looking to risk 4 ticks and make 8, right? I put my stop out at 8 ticks so that as like a last resort. Okay. Um and normally you might see me very often I'll get out early at the 4. Okay. But this market is moving around so much I've been trying to let it breathe a little bit. So now I'm trying like 8 and 16.
Pedro Garcia says my risk is about 200 per contract.
But I'm also trying to let it run because this is a market that can run. So in that particular case, because it it did run, so I brought my stop down a little bit. And then I was also looking at over here where I had gotten in at was from kind of like what was somewhat of an inside bar, and 32.42 was like the median that I got in at. So I said, okay, so if it comes back even to 40, I probably need to get out. So that's what I ended up doing. So I only made $10 on that one, unfortunately. And now it's going into the open, so probably I maybe that after the open I just hands off. I don't know, because it's going to be wild again, I'm sure. And tell you what, that last trade, that last move in the treasury, look at right there, 25 9 919, 25 half 950.
Michael ATF says okay. Thanks. That's helpful.
Yeah, no problem. If it was like a normal
Pedro
market,
Garcia says stopped out on GC.
I would just put the target at 2. But I'm only doing that because I only have one contract, right? That was a weird move. And Bigger Miss Big says that I'm being a broken record, but I'm still a believer that the longs get roasted. Yeah. Well, now the treasuries are showing a huge offer at 25. Bloomberg's girlfriend on past NDAs. It was 30 years ago. Get over it. What? Democratic presidential candidate Michael Bloomberg's girlfriend, Diana Taylor, dismissed concerns raised over Bloomberg's initial refusal to release former employees from non-disclosure agreements. Asked what her response is to people bothered by allegations against Bloomberg and his response to the secrecy agreements, Taylor told CBS News, "It was 30 years ago. Get over it. In none of them was he accused of doing anything and saying something nasty to women. That's not who he is. Life has changed. I grew up in that world. It was a bro culture." Taylor told CBS after Women for Mike rally in Texas Monday, "We have come a very, very long way, and Michael Bloomberg has been at the forefront of that change." But, I don't think that voters are actually bothered by that. I think they're bothered by his poor response to it when he was on the debate stage, his inability to think on his feet. And he did stop out on GC, huh? Now, you had an okay trade there at 25 half. Like it kind of okay. Here we're getting stop runs again. It's going crazy again. That's so weird. Mm-mm-mm. What a mess. And then the treasuries tick down. Somebody thinks that it's too high. Well, we are going to get a modest rebound on the open, huh? So we're at 32.40.
RJ Wheels says the Access Hollywood tape is proof voters don't care about that stuff. But Ya's lukewarm response is problematic.
Yeah. Well, so I have a theory on the Hollywood tape. Here's my theory on the Hollywood tape.
RJ Wheels says his.
I don't think that it's the content of it in that particular case. I believe that it has much more to do with how the media presents it and how the candidate responds to it. So in the case of Donald Trump, many people tried to make that video out to be much more than it was. You know, he was joking around with a guy. He talked about a situation where, you know, a girl didn't respond to him, and so he respected her wishes. Was really what he was talking about. But he was talking like, you know, locker room
Pedro
banter.
Garcia says he's good. He knows how to tool people.
And everybody came out like, oh, Donald Trump was admitting to raping women in that video. Come on. And I think that most voters recognize that. And so because they tried to overplay their hand, it didn't hurt him. You know what I mean? It's just like all these things. It's like, man, I'm getting like super political, but I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing to distract ourselves until the open, but and this can be helpful to you towards reading the politics of things, I guess, which do matter to the markets, don't they? So I will tell you.
RJ Wheels says 100 PCT agree. Pedro Garcia
if you
says
have
yeah,
something,
they honestly think we are idiots.
If they have something, they don't have to exaggerate it, right? Like I don't have to exaggerate that Bernie Sanders is a socialist. It's like he is a socialist. Now, people will argue he's not a socialist because he doesn't want the government to be in complete charge of the economy. I think everybody understands that. But you got to realize that socialist means many, many different things. And most people, when we really were thinking about socialism, we're not talking about the specific economic things, you know, like the government takeover of an industry or something. We're talking about the attitude. To me, socialism is the idea that the foundation of modern society, the free market economy, is immoral. That is, to me, is socialism. And that is 100% what Bernie Sanders believes. You go into the debates, that's 100% what he believes. He's a socialist. He's a cultural socialist, no question about it.
Pedro Garcia says yep.
Right? I don't have to exaggerate that. I don't have to make that out to be bigger than it really is.
Pedro Garcia says yep.
You know, people online might do that, but like Donald Trump, he doesn't have to do that. All he has to do is repeat the things that Sanders himself has said, and they will speak for the, you know, and voters will look at that and go, oh yeah, that is a problem. You know, they don't have to exaggerate that Bernie Sanders wrote these articles where he talked about women daydreaming about being raped. You know, like Bernie Sanders wrote that. You just show them the article. That's all you have to do.
Pedro Garcia says he thinks the free markets are bad. MF, you're in America.
Yeah, it's just, right? When you go in and you try it and you have to convince people by exaggerating it and making it a bigger deal than it really is, that can work against you. It absolutely can.
Pedro Garcia says my taxes pay your bills.
Yeah. It's so weird. The thing that I find so weird about the primary right now is that the Democrat Party is so convinced that Bernie Sanders can win. That's the crazy thing to me. Is they really think that he would win in a general election. And they have all of these polls with head-to-head matchups that show it, but I don't think they're going to turn out the way you think they will. We should look at that. I wanted to look at that. I'm going to go 270 to win. I'm going to pull up my little... I was doing some research
Pedro Garcia
yesterday.
says this younger generation scare me.
doing my research yesterday, and I wanted to adjust. Okay, the Treasury's getting creamed.
Burning Dawn says I'm not convinced Sanders believes what he says. I think
You're
he's
not
just another
convinced, huh?
socialism for thee, not for me, fraud.
So when I was looking at it, it looked to me like Bernie Sanders' chances of winning Florida or Pennsylvania were slim to none. Same with Ohio and Wisconsin. So it's really, if we give Bernie Minnesota and Michigan, which are the ones that I think that Donald Trump could flip, by the way. Okay, there's some strong buying on the open. The strong buying, but they're having trouble pushing through the liquidity. Interesting.
RJ Wheel says he just lost Florida with Castro stuff.
Yep. That's exactly it. The his comments on Castro, basically, it was a pretty tough haul to get Florida before anyways, but that just sealed it. There's no way he takes Florida. No way. Now, some of these I'm not so sure about. Especially North Carolina. See if I can find a poll on North Carolina. We'll do it over here. Look at the mini go. Polls. General election polls. Okay. Can we find... It was North Carolina, right? Yeah, North Carolina. Trump versus Biden, Trump versus Sanders.
Pedro Garcia says he's at Uncle Who says the off-he-wall stuff then and you're like, what, you crazy bro?
Oh, okay, North Carolina really is pure, true neutral. What about New Mexico? No, they're not pulling it. They're not pulling it. That's interesting. Oh, maybe we want Arizona. Let's try Arizona. That's also it. Versus Sanders, it looks like Donald Trump wins. So let's give it to Donald Trump. Okay, so there was a big buy and now a big sell. We're gonna stay out of it until for at least 10 minutes. I have to say that was a pretty big, ugly open candle.
Pedro Garcia says short.
Ooh, this says buy.
Pedro Garcia says 3,239.50.
I buy it in the treasury. I'm not going to mess with the E-mini though, okay? I was definitely easily Trump. So that right there. I'm sorry, but Bernie Sanders' chances of winning the becoming president are so slim. It would be so hard. Because like we could give him North Carolina. And give him Virginia. Still.
Masiak says at Pedro Garcia nice.
Donald Trump still wins. Narrowly. Okay, well the treasuries sure are ticking around a lot. A real range extension too. My dogs think that my wife is going to come downstairs. Okay, well, we got Richmond Fed at the top of the hour. Difficult for me to read this larger candle in the context of everything else. Like, there is a low around 32, 33.
RJ Wheels says give him
25?
Virginia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan. Does he win then? Pedro Garcia says out. Pedro Garcia says I'll go into with a bias, but if TRHE marks show me otherwise.
If you get Pennsylvania, then it becomes possible. And then Wisconsin, with Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, it's still close.
Pedro Garcia says 3,235.
I mean, let's just make those ones neutral for you, right? So then we have to go into
RJ Wheels says Michigan too.
Oh, we've been giving Michigan to him.
Uzi Knesset says +4 on ZB there.
Good job, Uzi. I only got a tick. They're kind of like that. This last bar right here kind of looks like a dead cat bounce. I don't know. I'm going to give it another 5 minutes or so. Although I don't know if I can trade that. Like, it's moving too fast.
Pedro Garcia says back in short on S again. Pedro Garcia says 323,435.
There we go.
Uzi Knesset says trading through the equities open ISNT all that's scary in bonds if you just set a stop and don't give a shit lol.
Yeah. Well, I've found that in bonds, it's like it'll tick around, but it'll tick around
Pedro
like
Garcia
one tick.
says
right?
stop at 3,238.0.
Like I could just, if it makes me too nervous, I could just get out at 26. Kind of giving me hints that they could go higher though. I guess I should put that there because it's a 3-tick trade, right? And the E-mini is recovering a little bit. Kind of makes you think though, that whole down move.
Uzi Knesset says we're still in the IB and ZB, so rough seas.
That down move in the treasuries.
That.
That down move in the treasuries, mighty suspicious.
Pedro Garcia says what's IB?
What is IB? That's initial balance. You know what? I haven't even moved those. Let's do that.
Uzi Knesset says initial balance. First hour's range of the overnight session. Pedro Garcia says stoked out.
Okay, so the E-mini is
Masiak
looking
says
to
30
make the open.
Usually.
Treasuries being crazy.
Uzi Knesset says can act as a good upside and downside barrier, but trading within it is often a sloppy joes.
Yeah. I had to scratch that one. I wish that I could have. I probably should have had my limit order sitting out here at the 3, but it looks like that I wouldn't have even gotten that. So.
Pedro Garcia says up $1,500. Uzi Knesset says 30 minutes is used too depending on your reference time frame.
We found that hour works really well though. Where I have found it useful at least. Although the opening range high and low is like really wide today, so. Okay, so they tried to pierce the open. They did not hold it for very long. So I would still be slight bias to the downside, I guess, but it's still taking way too much for me to trade. I'm way too scared from last time around, you know. Over here in this one, what about Maine? Is there one that's just that one district? Let's just give it to him.
Uzi Knesset says block sells pounding ZB's IB high.
We give Bernie Nevada. Okay. So it still comes out that he has to win Wisconsin. Bernie Sanders has to win Wisconsin and Pennsylvania to win. And I say, I don't think he's gonna. Talk about volatile. So we could perhaps draw a line from here to here. So that gives us downside to maybe 31. Okay. Treasury's bidding back up again.
Pedro Garcia says, would it be funny if USA became a socialist country? Talk about screwing with the rest of the world.
Well, there would be real problems because a lot of countries have been getting away with what they have because of relying on the US economy to kind of hold them up, huh? Okay, so there's lower.
Pedro Garcia says that's what I'm talking about.
Looks like it could continue, in fact. This is just so wild right now.
Uzi Knesset says I wouldn't mind a $40,000 an hour minimum wage. Sure, a loaf of bread would cost $500, but hey, at least I'm making $40K an hour, lol. Pedro Garcia says they literally rely on what our economy. RJ Wheels says and spending on their defense instead of healthcare. So those countries can afford socialism. Pedro Garcia says lol.
Okay, look at the sellers make some progress there. They're still not holding it enough for me to be like, oh, it's downtrend, let's just sell this, but it's hard to watch it move so much and not be involved. It's hard for me. And it's hard for me that I got out of the the
Pedro
treasury
Garcia
trade.
says, but we also have the ability to get rich, Phility rich. Pedro Garcia says go GC. Uzi Knesset says damn, my initial target for that trade was hit. Target was 04 and I bailed at evens, sad face.
In ZB. Oof. Okay, now it's like full on just sell this. Except for that you're a little late to the party. And we've still got some numbers. So 32.23. If they bounce before 32.23, that's
Uzi
actually
Knesset
quite
says
bullish.
strayed too far from the 30 minutes median, now I have to watch it run away lol.
Right. In the treasury, well, they sure, man. Look at her go. Previous high was 132.28 half. And they're blowing that.
Masiak says Seth, it is not easy trading online, but you are doing well.
Hey, thanks.
Uzi Knesset says she gave me a second chance at the last 5-minute bar, but I'm a dummy disappointed face.
I think at the moment, the only reason I'm doing well is because I'm just so risk adverse. Because I mean, look, we're missing out on a lot of fun right there. I do say, okay, so they went into the 23 and you can see the bounce come in. Again, so wonder if I had drawn this like this.
Pedro Garcia says y'all need to learn moment entries, it will help you.
Momentum entries. Well, I have the one momentum entry in the treasury that works okay. But and the trade that Ace shows us is definitely a momentum entry. But those are still kind of slower trades. You know, when it starts getting really fast, I don't
Uzi
have
Knesset
something.
says my entry was fine. I closed it too early, that's my fault lol.
I don't have something that I see
Garcia
purely
says
on the
they
DOM.
work.
Something that I see purely on the DOM that shows me that I can take a continuation like that. You know? It just kind of drops through and just starts getting crazy. And you're like, okay. That's me. Hmm. It doesn't seem to be holding that spot. Not yet, at least. I don't know if that makes that a long, though. Probably if we come back up to like 28.
Uzi Knesset says pardon me while I go kick my own ass.
You're really mad about that one, huh? These treasuries are just insane. Look at that.
Pedro Garcia says go GC go.
I can't buy that. I want to buy it. I want to buy it. That is it. Okay. Nope. It's just like before. It's
Uzi
like
Knesset says when a
it's just
$700 trade
too
turns
willing
into a
to move.
$250 trade because I'm a wuss, yeah, I'm a little disappointed lol.
Okay. Well, it didn't end up being what I wanted anyways, so. Come on. There we go. Why is it fucking fight me
RJ
so
Wheels
hard?
says I closed short early too. It's tough when it's moving so fast to keep stop out of line of fire.
Last one. I'm definitely doing something wrong because it's not making, I'm not getting 10 ticks of favorable excursions on those, you know? So, whatever. It's fighting hard.
Pedro Garcia says GC entry 1652.5 stop at 1649.3. Pedro Garcia says looking for it to run 1660.
Okay, so again, we're trying to let her run.
Pedro Garcia says Alray have T1.
On gold. Okay, so they did beat out the previous bar's high. So I think 34. Maybe even the open. There's a lot of orders short that could get destroyed here. Okay, cool.
Uzi Knesset says watch that VWAP bro.
32, 34, 75. Good call. I still think, though, open. What was open? Oof. I don't know about that one, actually. That might be a bit much. There's enough volume short to push us back to the open. Based on cumulative delta, okay?
Uzi Knesset says ya know how she goes around the VWAP.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with it on the ES though. Does the first test of VWAP tend to bounce hard? I remember testing that specific thing and not finding an edge in it, but just that alone, not finding an edge in it. And I testing that on both treasuries and equities. But I did find an edge in trading it differently if it was above or below the VWAP, but not entries and exits at the VWAP. There's still too much volume short here. Curious. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe it should be.
Pedro Garcia says I sell off 70% off at T1.
Okay. Should have taken that off earlier, huh?
Pedro Garcia says that is my normal amount.
Hmm. T1, is that you're talking about floor pivots or something else?
Pedro Garcia says first target.
Oh, okay. This looks like a really ugly setup for a long here. If I should have held it. Should have taken it off earlier. Should have held it when I didn't. Um, I mean, that's only a should have based off of what happened. I don't know about based on. We're in like such an unknown area for me. I don't, you know, how do you trade this thing? It's a monster. Well, there's that
Pedro
right
Garcia
there.
says the 89 SMAs on 15 minutes. Uzi Knesset says 89, what's special about 89?
I was thinking 29, 25, but it didn't hit.
Pedro Garcia says freaking stop my trade. Pedro Garcia says by itself nothing.
It sounds like one of those numbers that you pick because it's an unusual number. So there's less likely to be other people using it.
Pedro Garcia says nope. Uzi Knesset says sounds like one of those numbers that make the MA fit. Krzysztof Szczesny says CB consumer confidence next 60 seconds.
I forgot.
Pedro Garcia says I
negative
think
2
if
versus
you back
13.
tested since the begin of the markets on all time frames it's of utmost reliable.
Damn it.
Uzi Knesset says which realistically you can do. Tweak MA period settings until it fits recent price action. You just have to adjust it every time it stops fitting.
Okay, I fucked up something bad. What the hell did I just do there? The hell? Fuck. I'm so fucking confused and pissed off. Okay. Shit. Okay. Oh, I see what I did. Fuck, guys.
Pedro Garcia says now the S will start to go up.
Consumer confidence was 130 versus 132. Richmond Fed was negative 2 versus 13, and they're buying it? No.
Uzi Knesset says I totally missed that. What happened?
I misclicked and took a stop way bigger than I should have. Okay.
Pedro Garcia says 3,240 close on 5 minutes above the 89 look to go long. Uzi Knesset says that auto center feature can be a bitch when you're trying to click in or out. I turn that shit off.
Yeah. Is that what happened? I wasn't just that. I clicked and moved a column. Okay, wait, that wasn't right. Okay. You know what, guys? That wasn't too bad. Okay. Hmm.
Uzi Knesset says oh snap you're piling in, averaging down?
Trying.
Pedro Garcia says 3,227 short.
Hmm.
Uzi Knesset says hey if you got the money to do it, I say do it. You can
Okay.
play the entire range if you're quick enough. Pedro Garcia says looking to Shrot Belwo.
Doing okay so far. I started averaging into because I could see where it was being all jiggly, and figured I could give myself more room, and it worked out that time. Was kind of weird because it's not something that I've ever done before. Um, but I knew what to do. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have done that, guys. It worked out though. Oh gosh, guys. Oh, that sucks. Comes back
Pedro
so
Garcia says missed
fast.
TCL trade, pisted. Uzi Knesset says just keep an eye on where your average price is. Get in a flow. Think of where it is relative to the day's range and other reference points.
Dang it. Oh, that should be. Oh, the way it came back there so fast is so wild. I just. This market. Let me tell you what, guys. That's no good.
Uzi Knesset says have a maximum build and keep your position below it. Uzi Knesset says take profits on lots whenever you feel like it.
Right. Okay, well, this is a really bizarre market action, in my opinion. And I mean,
Uzi
really
Knesset says
bizarre.
you can do it, grinning face with big eyes. Krzysztof Szczesny says if you can take $40 profit 2 or 3 times a day, I think you should.
I think that I should have taken the 40 for sure, yeah. Tell you what, though, it doesn't usually come back that quickly. That was fucking crazy. Yeah. So, of course, as soon as I get out, then it actually breaks down past the spot that I was having issues with. I need to calm down just a little bit. We're okay. I don't understand how you get a negative Richmond Fed manufacturing index and people buy it. How does that work? Explain this to
Pedro
me.
Garcia says this is the stuff I saw in 2008.
Yeah. I've seen this kind of action before. It just doesn't make it any less like bizarre to me. You know? Come on. There we go.
Andre Santos says hi.
Hello, how are you? Sorry, I'm a little distracted.
Uzi Knesset says you make your money back from the kerfuffle yet?
I did. Because I lost $30 on that one kerfluffle.
Uzi Knesset says baller.
Baller. Yeah. Well, technically, I could trade 6 contracts if I wanted to. Actually, I could trade
Uzi
like 10,
Knesset says thumbs up.
but I've only been trading 1 because I want to. And anytime that I try and do 3, but this has been the way that I've been playing. This has been different. Okay, so this is where I probably want to take this off. No, that's not right. There we go.
Andre Santos says I found this channel by looking for order flow trades.
Oh,
Nice. Is that Jigsaw software?
yes, I'm using Jigsaw. So you're in the right place, Andre. The only place. I think we're the only ones. Well, showing,
Uzi Knesset says you should put histogram on your current trades column. Makes volume buildups easy to see at a glance.
Oh, you mean... Okay, hold on a second.
Uzi Knesset says an S looves to turn at volume buildups.
Look at that, I did that one right. Man. Current at bid histogram, you mean like that?
Uzi Knesset says yeah.
Yeah. So to going back, what I did was, I have a long on? I think it was. Yep, I had a long on, and I had made quite a bit on it.
Uzi Knesset says you watch it long enough you'll see. Big volume clogs start and end moves.
You know what? A bunch of stuff happened that I don't... Man. Shouldn't have done that. Okay. I was trying, I took the Richmond Vent and then I was trying to average into a position. And wow. And then it like turned against me really quickly, and I like misclicked
Pedro
and
Garcia
moved to
says go
column.
SES.
And then when I moved to column, then it really moved, and so I wasn't able to just like bail.
Pedro Garcia says go ES.
Yeah, I missed it. It's kind of funny how when all of a sudden when I start being more cautious, you know what I think I should do? I should get rid of it on these ones, and I should put it on this one. This is the one that matters.
Uzi Knesset says there's a clog in S. Little turn up. Right into another clog lol.
Yeah. Oh, while I was doing that, they stopped their little move up. 27, 28.
Pedro Garcia says shorted at 3,227 and it's a boo TTO drop.
I mean, I think that they should break the low of the regular session, don't you?
Pedro Garcia says we'll see.
I don't see how you get, like we were saying, probably a lot of people are going to wait for the Richmond number, right? Well, the Richmond number came, it was bad.
Uzi Knesset says there's a clog up at 3,225 area. Need to break that for more downside.
Gotcha. The moment, though, it's being a little questionable. See that? Treasury's holding their bids, by the way. I think I could take that.
Uzi Knesset says yeah, don't remind me. Uzi Knesset says I was long ZB at 28, damn it.
Oh, right. Right. It's been funny how when we've been trying to let them
Pedro
ride,
Garcia
they're not.
says yep, but I'm looking at all the SMAs and they are above price.
Okay, I don't think I can let that one.
Uzi Knesset says second time in 2 weeks that's happened to me.
They all did what I did. Do you see how it was almost 50 and then when it came down, it's 37? Okay, maybe I should have tried to have added to that one. Well, that's okay. Let's take that.
Pedro
right there.
Garcia says it will push the S markets down.
I think so, dude. I mean, I'm not. I can't completely explain everything that's going on, but like.
Uzi Knesset says I bagged a monster on an hourly low last week and got scared out at +3. It ran for +30 with no adverse movement.
Okay. So now previous support becomes resistance, right?
Uzi Knesset says so needless to say, I've found my weakness lol. Pedro Garcia says my TN trade is looking nice.
I mean, if you had an exit signal and you then. This is the hard thing with discretionary trade. I'm discovering is, have we talked about this before? If you have a very, very specific entry, okay, you need like this very specific thing to get in, right? And you can avoid all sorts of action. But how do you do that on the exit side? You can't have a very specific exit on the exit side because it might not happen. So you have to have a much more broad exit. And then if you have a broad
Uzi
exit.
Knesset says man, the things throw exit signals every 2 seconds lol.
Right?
I do better if I just stop paying attention and let come what may.
So then you have exits. You know, if you look for every little thing that can get you out, then
Pedro
you never
Garcia
let
says
anything
agreed.
run. So it doesn't work out very well. So I think that probably set targets with the ability to let things run, it probably makes more sense. Notice how they're not hitting my order. No, it's gonna go without me. Oh, that's
Pedro
so
Garcia
sad.
says come what may, I will love the markets until my dying day. Grin and face.
I like that one, bro. I like that one. Okay. That's what I wanted. I want to be exiting right here. That sucks. I was too efficient. Too efficient. Or I could have just let the one ride, huh? 28. That would have been $50. $40. Something like that. Ooh. 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 Ooh.
Andre Santos says, wow, I have a lot to learn. How long did it take you to read the order flow? Pedro Garcia says, where is Ace? I was just messing. I hope I didn't piss him off. I was just doing a little banter.
I think he came in and he gave us our trade and then he had to run off and do
Pedro
something
Garcia
else.
says, go Esco.
So I wouldn't worry about that. But we have a channel in Discord specifically for a banter, so it should keep it over there.
Pedro Garcia says, okay.
But I mean, the thing is Ace is totally into the banter. It's just we don't know you yet, you know. So I would establish a bit of a relationship first before you start insulting people. Oh, what was that? 1,000 pulling off of the offer. What the hell? What the hell? I mean, can I just sell 19? I mean, it sure feels like it, doesn't it? That would be like awful risk reward, though.
Pedro Garcia says, got you. Yes, I agree. Lol.
That awful risk reward at 19, but I sure want to do it.
Pedro Garcia says no.
No. I'm looking. So now that the thing is we're negative on the month there at
Pedro
that
Garcia
23.
says don't short now.
Yeah. So if I was going to take a short, I would much rather watch them come back up to 23 and try and break or defend it.
Pedro Garcia says in year.
And well, yeah, and year is a good point too. I don't actually
Andre
have
Santos
the year
says
marked.
Pedro, you from PT?
Yeah, where do you live, Pedro? I think
Pedro Garcia says yes. Pedro Garcia says what's PT? Masiak says look on offer, wow. Andre Santos says Portugal.
Oh. Thank you for pointing that out, Masiak. I did not see that.
Pedro Garcia says no, I'm Mexican, but from CT, Greenwich area.
Something wild just happened, that's for sure. We're getting like... Okay.
RJ Wheel says how can you trade and type that much?
Type. Holy shit. I don't know what's going on, guys. That was fucking crazy.
Andre Santos says he's a ninja.
What?
Pedro Garcia says Greenwich.
We are getting a flash crash. This is a flash crash, guys.
Pedro Garcia says it's really simple.
Don't be careful.
Pedro Garcia says I'm good, really good.
Should I have left that one on? Sure.
Pedro Garcia says I've been at this for a while.
How long have you been trading for, Pedro? You told us so earlier, didn't you?
Uzi Knesset says good
like
lores.
6 years. That's insane.
Sebastian Marquez says WTF?
Do you see why I didn't want to be a part of that?
Pedro Garcia says drop baby brop.
Look how fast it come back.
Pedro Garcia says 14 years.
14 years. That's a long time. It's not the longest we've had, but that is a long time.
Pedro Garcia says I told y'all.
Speculator Pedro, wait, what would be a market term that starts with P? Let's learn.
RJ Wheels says Speculator Pedro channel. Sebastian Marquez says those of us who are going to die greet you.
Oh, we should call him Prophet Pedro. That's what we should call him. That's your name now, Pedro. The Prophet Pedro. Oh, what an insane. Ooh. So the thing that scared me about that is if you look in the upper left corner and you can see the pulls and
Pedro
stacks.
Garcia says I said below 27 get short, above 40 long. Masiak says Pedro you are in position now? Andre Santos says should I cry from not holding my RTY 1630 short?
Probably.
Christoph Chesney says IT40 also going down. Pedro Garcia says I went out to lunch with a friend yesterday and talked about doing a YouTube channel and he said do a switch.
I mean, you can do a YouTube channel. Or it's Twitch. Yeah. Well, so oh man, I'm about to get into like a big subject and I don't know if I should when it's doing this crazy. Let's hold off a second, but before we go, it's almost 8:30.
Uzi Knesset says crying face. Pedro Garcia says or ITHNK it's Twitch.
Poor Uzi almost could have made $1,000
join me in my crying for not holding my 66-28 long in ZB.
Oh my gosh, guys. Today's title is going to be I make the worst misclick ever but somehow come out profitable.
Sebastian Marquez says Fuick. Pedro Garcia says my GC trade is killing it also.
Okay. This could bounce. This is going to give us...
Sebastian Marquez says disappointed face.
This is going to give us a really hard hammer. This is going to give us a really hard hammer. Okay, so here's... And let me turn the channel for a second. So, Pedro, let me tell you. So, if you're going to do Twitch versus YouTube, here's the thing. If you go on Twitch, the audience is different. Most of the people that are on Twitch are 16-year-old kids that are looking to watch video games. Whereas YouTube is a very, very broad audience. But streaming is not as popular on YouTube.
Pedro Garcia says it what to trade on the right days.
Oh, I thought you got stopped out. Well, he was talking about a bunch of different positions. Anyways, now Twitch has a lot of gamification. So people can like subscribe to your channel and you can give them perks, and they will give you bits so that they can get special smileys. And if they're a channel subscriber, they can use your special channel specific smileys and things like that. So it's a little bit easier to make short-term money off of Twitch. But on YouTube, if you develop a channel, well, so two things. One is that there's no discoverability on Twitch. So if you just start a Twitch channel, you don't have any following, like nobody's going to watch. And two, when you really get going on YouTube, if you get a couple thousand subscribers, it can easily be like $5,000 a month in income. Obviously, I'm not doing that. We're under 2,000 subscribers. But some of these trading channels out there that have like, 10,000, I think there's even some that have 100,000 subscribers, right? They're probably making more money off of the YouTube ad revenue than they are off of the trading. Anyways, so that's kind of the difference. So for me, I only went on YouTube because it's just so much easier to reach people on YouTube, if that makes sense. So yeah. And that loser, that one that that went against me, so mad. I'm so mad because without that, I would have done really, really well today. But I only did all these other trades because of that, so maybe it was a good thing. I thought we did pretty okay when we were averaging down. We could have done a lot better than we did. But at the same time, I think that what we were doing might only work in this kind of environment. Okay, there's another little move lower, below 3,200. Nope. Damn. Come on. Yeah, there's definitely what you're talking about earlier, Uzi, like a bottleneck there. Shit. No, no. What is going insane now? That's not good. Okay, now that one, I don't understand what happens. Okay. See, like, okay, I don't understand this. Oops. That's not what I want. Okay, hold on a second. Damn it. Hmm. Okay, yes. Mm-hmm. You need first-person shooter skills for this. Sorry, I don't have it reading out. I was like, it's so quiet.
Algo lover says face with tears of joy. Pedro Garcia says hello, you shut us off, laughing face.
Yeah. Well, it kind of, we run out of requests at a certain point, too. Hmm.
Algo lover says L8TR thumbs up.
Thanks.
Pedro Garcia says I'm out.
All right, I will see you later.
Lucas says S giving some signs of reversal.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's giving me very strong signs of reversal.
Andre Santos says you should get a speedbot that uses a new voice for each person. Would be sweet.
I can do that. I just haven't written it.
Andre Santos says speechbot asterisk. Pedro Garcia says going to Brook, made my money for he day. Have a good day guys, also.
ZB giving signal, don't know if I'd trust it.
Pedro Garcia says yes. Uzi Knesset says ZB giving signal too, not sure I'd trust it though.
Oh, it's definitely giving a hard reversal sign. It's just a question of how much it's going to reverse for, you know? What
Uzi Knesset says later Pedro waving hand.
One more.
Pedro Garcia says brunch. Pedro Garcia says I really suck at spelling. Lucas says yes, too fast an S to know, but it's holding well at this levels, better than it did before. Pedro Garcia says nope, it's not finished dropping. Uzi Knesset says like I said, I know trusty lol.
There's going to be at least a little bit of a bounce. This doesn't mean that it's the low of the day. I think, though, that I've outworn my luck, guys.
Lucas says that was like 4 minutes ago, female bot, you make me look like a noob now.
Is it coming up on the number of on late requests or something? I don't know. Wait a second.
Uzi Knesset says for all the bullshit tweeting Trump does about markets, he's mum as fuck on coronavirus as he lets the market bleed out.
No, he said yesterday market stocks look good. You didn't see that tweet? Okay.
Uzi Knesset says hell yeah, minus 1,000 points is mad good.
Damn. So now that I've gotten my little bit of a bounce, I'm not sure what to make of it. I don't know if they're going to come back to 32.25 or not. So I took a couple of losses there. Those were sells. Man. I don't know. Difficult market, I guess. Hmm? be the end of our long streak here.
Pedro Garcia says in Treasury, Seth, are you still in it?
When the menu started getting all crazy, I forgot about the treasury trade. I think that I had one treasury trade that I took that I ended up scratching, and then I forgot about it. Yep. So I have to shut this part down now. Is the Discord a good place? So if you want to one thing that I would do is after the stream, it gets posted a regular video. You come back and you can comment on that video, and tell us how you did for that day. And that's really good because then we can go back and we can figure out what was going on that day. But the nice thing about the Discord, of course, there's all of the chat. Well, the volatility is definitely dying down a bit. Might go for new low now. Wow. Well, if that doesn't go for a new low, man. Sure enough, it did. There wasn't a whole lot of stops on it, though. Shit. I'm just like in a daze now. I can't believe what's happening. Amazing. Just amazing. And look, there's like thousands trading up there in the 95 area. Still going. 90. Man, they're just not even letting him breathe. Should have held it. See, that actually looks like a long to me, but like, who wants to take that one, right? So glad I didn't leave yet. Talk about it crazy. I think I'm like out of my mind right now, to be honest. Well, like, I'm surprised that I'm not trading like super awful. This is just insanity. Okay. Too late. You have to be so fast. They still might not actually be done. I have to start looking at a daily chart in ZN though, or ES. Okay. 80.25. There's still a pretty significant target below us. Okay. Do the entry drills on it. Yeah, I might come back. I mean, I've done those on ZN, but what we get here in the E-mini is such a different beast, you know? So in the short term, I'm not exactly sure which way it's going to go. I'm not seeing anything significant enough. In fact, it's a doji. There. Oh, there was AI's 3196. I'm sorry. Algo Lovers. Algo Lovers 3196. I was like, well, that's too far away to think about right now. Well, it was, but they did get to it. I mean, that they're going to hold it. Oh, okay, so now it's being a little stoppy. This is the thing that I find interesting is that when the volatility should be contracting and then it expands again out of nowhere. Chris Groff made 7 of 7. Good job. I did not. I took so many trades and some were really good and some were really bad. Say though, the treasuries have come back significantly. I was right. I wanted to buy it there and I said, no, I don't actually know. Then look at take off. Come on. Work with me here. That stop run was so promising. And I was like, I want to take profits here. Okay. Oh, come on, don't be like that. Hmm. The hell. I think I'm being fooled by randomness here, guys. Place to get in for the next push short, maybe? It could be. Fuck. Okay, Seth. Wait. 97.25. Oh, that's it right there. Okay, that one was good. That one was really good. No? Okay. Look at the wick on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, I see it. Well, I do see I want to be short. But a safe spot to take it? I am having trouble, aren't I? 98 would be better. No, it's not even going to hold that. Jeez. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I think I missed my first optimal exit there at least. When put a week and start to push down, this is what I've come to notice over the years. You know, Pedro, that's so interesting because that's exactly the thing I've been trying to look for. Except for yesterday when it was all those wicks everywhere, that was kind of to me was like, your stop's not going to hold, you know? But I think that here today we've found a way of doing things that kind of helps us overcome that issue. Okay, so they did not make a new low there. That's interesting. We're back to median 92.50. Worth taking, maybe? They're already saying too late. You're in 4 trades. I can't handle more than one. Like, can you see how just trying to handle a position with multiple contracts is difficult for me? Okay, the way that I got filled on that was a little unoptimal. Shit, missed it. Now they're really acting like they're gonna go for it. Let's see. Nope. I'm getting exactly the wrong spots. Okay. That one's questionable too. Can you believe that 3 times in a row? Well, not 3 times in a row. I didn't lose the whole thing. All right. Oh no, what am I doing? I'm against the flow at the moment, or I was. Okay. Uh Shit. It is just hunting stops at the moment. Hmm. Okay. Go, go, go. Oh my gosh, guys. Hmm. Talk about wild. Like, it's been doing this for like an hour too. Like, oh my gosh. This is so crazy. You guys are probably seeing tons of shit and I've like completely zoned up. But there it goes. I have to sim drill 4 trades at once. A6 says that was good. Yeah, that last one was good. I'm really mad that I had those 3 in a row that didn't work, but I'm doing good at running it when it's going, you know? It's not hard. Yeah, I don't know. I find it very difficult, dude. Oh my gosh. I can't tell when this is going to end. Like, it's still pushing. They're now, well, like I said, it was 81. 81 was the price level that I thought they'd really, really want. Wrong one. Man, see, when they hear my wife coming downstairs. More. Now what? Now what? 56? I can't even imagine now. $77 now. There was so much more in that. This one's going to have to pull back a little bit, I think. That Seth, you told me to sell. I traded my brains out. How many did I take? Holy shit. Too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Too many. I'm embarrassed to say how many I took. I'm embarrassed. $31.75. Did you say 75? If you include the commissions, it's close. I'm not sure. Okay. Pedro, if you're really thinking about doing it on YouTube, I think it's a great thing. I'm not of the opinion. I think some people are like, oh, you don't want competition on the streaming place. But from my perspective, like, it doesn't need to be popular. Like, my main thing is I want to get good at trading, and the stream has helped me so much get better at trading. And if you have something that works and you can show it live, now the thing is if you're gonna do it, I think that you should show your entries. That's kind of the big issue, right? Or at the very least, if you don't want to show it live, record it and show the whole thing. Because something that drives me nuts is there's some people out there that they will like trade like 5 accounts and then one of them they'll hit it big on and that's the one that they show, and that's kind of shady. So don't do that. But yeah, you have been giving us numbers. It's hard for me to keep track of it with because things are so crazy. You said 75 though. I do remember that. So you say it's easy, huh? I find it difficult. Um cool. That one I thought that it would come back to the median and it did. I think I'm still being fooled by randomness a little bit. Like I had those ones where I was losing it every time, and now I just got a bunch in a row that I wasn't winning every time. I just happened to be the right way. It's random. Oh, okay, cool. Now we're definitely profitable. Just another one there. That one I could have let it run a little bit. I'm telling you to go to my coach. He'll teach you, and you'll be badass. I don't want to spend money on education right now, to be honest. If I hope that you're not here to try and sell us on some guy's service. That happens too. Well, keep losing. Yeah, could be. You would have to show me. You would have to show me really impressive array of data to convince me to spend a whole lot of money on a course. I'm not just. Well, I've been doing okay. I was able to somehow make it out positive today by overtrading. Did you miss the baby report? No, but oh my gosh, Ace. I think I'm out of my mind. Like I literally took like 30 trades. Now I'm profitable, but I guess it doesn't matter if I came out on top, but still. Are you getting along, by the way, right now? because I'm starting to get along again. Good for you and your broker. Yeah, I does say my broker's probably pretty happy today. I'm short from way back. Yeah, okay. Wait, from before 32.15? Literally telling that was a little bit of an exaggeration, buddy. No, not that far back. That's not that far back. 32.15. Oh man, I could have been short from fucking what was the first big one? I could have been short from 3200. No. I was before that. It was before that. No. Like I had sells at like 41. Good grief. 32.25. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. I'm thinking that was going to give you a long hair. Oh, that's really far back there, huh? I'm okay with that. Lot decent profit. I want more. So interestingly enough, here's what I've been doing, Ace, is I will take it. Well, I don't think that this is a good trade, so, but I want to show it. Okay. Gonna take it short here, maybe? Okay. Come on. Okay, so I take it short. Oh, see, so 5 against me, that's bad. Okay, then if I get +5, it'll come here. Okay, so if I can get +5, then I know I'm golden. So then I go there and I take the extra 5 from here to here. Usually that'll fill, right? So now I've got all this room to work with. Goodish. Nope. Missed it. You gotta be fast. You gotta be so fast. Oh my gosh. So now probably won't even give 15. Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe. Nice. And you're positive. Yes, I am. But it's like to have done that is crazy. Oh, you know what? I need to do that. Okay. Actually, I need to do this. Um, there we go. Just take that most recent one out because it was a sim trade. So it says that I made $78, but it's not. I took so many trades. It's probably half that. I'm probably $40 in just commissions today. So oops, that's not what I wanted. Oh well. would have been a good one. Still positive is positive. Mentally, that's huge. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that I don't know. Mentally, I'm a little uncomfortable about it because what happened was I misclicked and I was managing a position with 2 contracts and I was doing okay with it. So I said, well, hell, why not? Well, I really missed that one. They're really moving it in a way to try and get people to chase it, I think. Interesting. I really wanted 86. Ooh, and it makes me mad. Opening up at 30 minutes demand area. We should see it go up from this exact area, but I'm out of my trade now looking to go branch. Hey, good day. We'll see you another day. Maybe when it's quieter, we can investigate what you're doing a little bit more. Um, yeah, that's so. Okay. Good. Oh, stop it. Stop it, you. Hmm, I guess not. Okay. Now, when he said to Pedro, have a good day, good, because he was worried that he had maybe offended you. Okay. I think it should be. I think I might need to be done now. No, I might actually be negative still. $50. Yeah. Oh no, it says I'm still up. Um yeah. Okay. Keep going for another 5 minutes. But it's time for me to shut it down. No. Here we go. Oh, 2 more lots. That sucks. was wrong. Shit. See, this is exactly the problem. Okay, but it's okay. Okay, well, I need to stop streaming. I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.